My audio is coming in clear. I see a bunch of people in the chat here. Let me know if my audio is clear. First of all, happy Friday. And second of all, it is quite the update today. I mean, the last couple of days have been pretty nice. 756 sitting on Tesla at the moment. I was on vacation. Technically, I am taking time off. That's why I haven't posted this week since 4th of July. But I had to do a power hour today. I'm thinking I'm going to start the regular video upload schedule again this weekend, coming into next week. So fear not, I'll be back for that. But I am here today, and let's go live. Let's talk Tesla Power Hour. I'm pretty sure I got my juju here. By the way, I got a lot. I got a lot today. Okay, I got a whole bloody pack of jujus here. It's probably like 3 pounds worth. It's not bad. We got a lot to talk about today for the whole week. Been away, so I've got a lot of things lined up, but let me know if my audio is coming in clear. Also, let me know in the chat where you guys are tuning in from, city, state, country, whatever you guys feel comfortable sharing. Mimi, how's it going? Sick. Matthew, awesome, appreciate that. Jeffrey, how's it going? Brandon, okay, first things first. I'll address this first. Six says, I think your skin is turning orange. So a couple things on this. One, yes, I've been in the sun. Don't hate me for it. Number two, my camera, I wish I knew more about cameras. I came in today into the office room, and I was like, okay, let me turn on this thing again. Let's pretend like I actually know what I'm doing. And I turned on, my whole entire camera settings were off. I looked like a pink baboon, okay, and now I look like an orange baboon. So really no difference here. I need to fiddle around with the settings. And to be honest, I only came in like 10 minutes ago, so I didn't want to spend too much time doing it. But I hope everyone's doing well. I hope my audio is at least clear. Digital, yes. Half of the Canada has no internet. Yes, my friend. If you have Rogers, rest in peace. I'm with TELUS apparently, and somehow that's been the good choice. So I don't know how. Hey, Danny Leung with the 25 Hong Kong dollar super chat. I appreciate that, my friend. Thank you. I'm gonna make sure my alerts for super chats and subscriptions are all on. Okay, they should be. So hopefully that pops up. Okay, let's read some areas. Sweden, West Carolina, Norway, Denmark. Roger from South Carolina, how's it going? Oh, let's see. Yeah, there it is. Okay, awesome. Appreciate the super chat again. Good way to start the stream, I guess. Still rocking it from Tampa. Steven, how's it going? San Fran, west of Sweden. Denmark. I can't pronounce that, Jimmy. I'll try. Næstved, Denmark. Danish people are some of the happiest people I know. Michigan, sunny and hot Bristol, UK. Tranquility base in Luna. Nice. That sounds like it's a great place. Guadalajara, Mexico. Hopefully I pronounced that okay. Montreal. Hey Matthew, you're home in of the NHL draft right now. Thank you, Barry. I appreciate that. I'm kind of feeling better. My hips, a bit better now, but it's still bothering me. Barry says I have a clementine. There we go. Stockholm, Sweden. Jan, how's it going? But Danish by heart. There we go. Wisconsin, Germany. Hadouken, I appreciate that. Thank you, my friend. Says don't forget to like and subscribe. Subscribe, please, if you haven't already. 5 a.m. in Sydney. Jason, shout out to you. Thailand, New York City, New Jersey, Boston, Toronto. Sweden again. Johannesburg. How's it going? Paco, Canada, Guana. We got a worldwide audience here. I love it. You guys are awesome. Grateful to you guys joining me on a Friday. You guys could be doing anything else. You guys are sitting here with me. Edward, shout out to you. 10 months as a member. Awesome. Appreciate you, Edward. OG. Okay. Sweden. Hips don't lie, says Martin. That's 100% right. Beaumont, Texas. Wow, we got... this is nuts. I love it. That's what I appreciate about our community so much is that it's not just it's not homogenous. We really are, we're pretty much across the globe. So what really I like about that, other than the fact that it is pretty diverse, is that we get so many different opinions in the group, left, right, center, whatever you want to call it. I'm so grateful to have, you guys joining me here today. All right, let's talk enough of the cliche stuff. 756 sitting on Tesla. So this is the weekly graph. I want to talk about the weekly graph for a second. So first things first, last week I talked about the 9 moving average on Tesla and us reclaiming that being a big level, 710. So that was good. But really the other level that we were talking about was 750. 750 was a pretty hard resistance. I can pull it up on TradingView here later, but 750 really looked like a hard level of resistance. I think the key close to look at here is 750 or above. That's really the one that I'm looking at. I'll pull up TradingView here to see what I'm talking about. Actually, I think it's moved here a little bit. Hold on, let me just try to reset my chart on TradingView before I show it. But 750 and above is kind of what I'm looking at as a bullish close into the week. Of course, the Nasdaq is barely green today, only 25 basis points up. The S&P 500 is about the same. So they're having pretty flat days. So it's good to hear that Tesla is showing some relative strength. And I'll get into why that might be right now. Okay. So first things first, if you haven't already, follow me on Twitter and retweet this. Shout out to you 7 awesome people for liking. Hey, Emmett, maybe Emmett's in the chat. Okay, first things first. China production came out today. So Troy Tesla tweets, Tesla China production in June was 70,928 units, which was higher than I was estimating. That's a new record. The previous record was 68,000 and some change in January of this year. And so the June production mix was let's just round up, 47,000 Model Ys, 24,000 Model 3s for about 71,000 total. Now, this is different, obviously, than the actual sales because of inventory base. So Gary goes on to say Tesla China June total sales were a record 78,906, which is 137% year over year. just crazy. And well in excess of the formerly monthly record of 70,805 in December. June included about 1,000 exports. So domestic sales were 78,000. Also a new record. Hey, Ralph, shout out to you. Ralph Malf with the $10 super chat. Thank you, my friend. Got the Elon dancing there. Thank you. So Gary, Gary, like, you love him or hate him, whatever your opinion is. Gary has some of the most astute, just factional, data specific numbers around Tesla. And what I like is his charts here. So if you look at sales and exports here for China, you'll see, let's just pull it up here. So first quarter is done. So if you look at April, May would just, actually, hold on, my fat face is in the way here. Hold on, let me move to this side. If you look at April, May, just kind of write off, right? I mean, May 32,000, you can say, okay, there's some action there. But really, everyone was kind of gearing up to June for that big number, that 79,000 number. And I look at this number and I hope it has some sort of saving grace into margins for quarter two, because I think there's going to be a big chasm to cross. With accounting losses like the Bitcoin impairment loss that we're going to have to go through with quarter two, it could get ugly. Seeing a record month out of China in June, I'm not going to say it's going to save the quarter, but it could really dampen, or it could really offset some of the margin degradation that we're going to see in quarter two. So there's that. So whatever. If you want to call it better news, onto new news. Sawyer tweets, Giga Berlin will temporarily shut down for 2 weeks starting Monday, so Tesla can upgrade the factory to increase production, output, and improve efficiency. Good news. If you read the article, it says Tesla will pause production for 2 weeks at its new plant in Berlin starting Monday. Employees at the so-called Gigafactory in Grünheide were informed of the production break some time ago. The break would be used to maintain the factory. Tesla not available, immediately available for comment. So really not a lot of indication as to what it's going to be. I think we knew there was going to be towards the latter half of this year, 4680 shifting out of Berlin. I don't think it's that. I mean, maybe someone in the comments can fill me in. I've been on vacation a little bit, so I've just been reading the headlines. But I'm not entirely sure what this is going to be about. Maybe it's just adding lines. Maybe it's just, I don't know, fixing things so they can scale up faster. Not entirely sure. Boyle says this has got to be the Twitter overhang being removed from the rumors. So we did get some news about that as well. 755 sitting on Tesla. We did get some news that, the Twitter deal is kind of iffy. I'm not entirely sure if it's totally confirmed. maybe not confirmed. I'm not entirely sure if it's totally blown up yet. I don't think Elon can just walk away and pay that $1 billion in kind of a walkaway fee. I think there's certain stipulations there that have to be met for that to just be the only penalty, and therefore not to be further legal ramifications from walking away from that deal. So I think there's certain things. I don't think it's just as simple as just pay the $1 billion and kind of move on. Yay, where are you vacated? Just locally, more of a staycation than a vacation. Went to Victoria, went to Vancouver Island for a couple of days. Just some R&R. Harry says, there will be no recession in 2022. Historical trends that were higher in 12 months. Buy and hold. Well, the definition of a recession is 2 quarters of GDP growth, of negative GDP growth. I think we're probably going to get that. And I think one caveat to add to that is that it's real GDP growth, right? So it's nominal GDP growth minus inflation. And that's kind of the big, hairy kind of white elephant, or it's kind of the elephant in the room is the inflation when we talk about, because inflation is so high, nominal GDP would have to just be outlandishly high for real GDP to be positive. And if you look at, and this is all we can really go by until we get the GDP numbers out. But if you look at the Atlanta Fed, their GDP now estimates, it's bumped up a little bit, but we're still minus 1% on estimated GDP 2 growth, quarter 2 growth. So, technical recession is looking more likely than not. So we'll see. Ralph says, Harry, what outfits? I don't know why I said that. Can you guys tell I've been on vacation? Okay, 755 sitting on Tesla. Volume for the day is actually really decent. I mean, 29 million shares traded already in the day. I'm going to change this to the 1 minute so we see some more action going. But volume is pretty decent for the day, for a Friday. I mean, that's kind of the question, right? The question isn't really, is there a recession? Because if there is or isn't, I mean, for all intents and purposes, unless it's some sort of black swan event, I don't think we necessarily care per se. But the biggest thing we are wondering as investors, retail investors, is, okay, what's priced into markets and what's not? So if you want to talk about recession, you can make the argument that it's already priced in. The question is what's not priced in. Michael Burry was tweeting, which, by the way, I think I tweeted the other day, I said Michael Burry tweeting about Elon is very bullish. Let's just hold on. Let me pull it up. Thank you, baby, for retweeting that. By the way, I tweeted. Hold on. Where is this? I said Barry tweeting about Elon then deleting it is bullish. That was July 6th, and I think our track record since July. I mean, again, I retweeted this and I said correlation equals causation. But let me pull this up. July 6th. Where was that? That's perfect. So Burry tweeted about Elon right over there. I mean, correlation equals pretty much equals causation there. We're up we're up 13% in the last 3 trading days. So I hope he tweets about him again. Hold on, what was I gonna say? I was gonna retweet something. Oh yes, and yes, we'll talk about the minivan here in a couple of seconds too. So we got a lot to talk about. By the way, yes, so earnings is July 20th. I will be going live for that. Hit the bell. July 20th, we were supposed to do more of a mega stream. We kind of had an idea where we were going to group. Actually, I've kind of tried to already make this happen. If you guys know, for example, I think quarter 4 earnings call in January, when I had a bunch of guests on kind of live. I had Tesla economist Lee, and then I had Dave Lee on, and then this time we wanted to kind of do like a mega stream, but it's just scheduling conflicts in the summer just make it a little bit hard. So also work on getting some good guests for the earnings call, but I'll definitely be going live. What did he say? He tweeted, go on my Twitter and check it out. I put it into one of the replies down there on that tweet. It was something to the effect of like, not everyone needs to be a spaceman, like Elon's Icarus. I forget what it was. I don't really try to read too much into what he tweets, to be honest. But there's actually an account that actually retweets what, or screenshots, I should say, what he says, because I think he deletes a lot of his stuff, like you guys are saying. So, okay, so let's talk about that. Uh, you guys are hilarious. Okay. Oh, not that. Okay, let's pull this up. So Elon tweeted. Elon tweeted. Let's see here. Maybe Tesla should make a highly configurable robo van for people in cargo. Tesla owner Silicon Valley replied, definitely need something bigger than the X. Is that possible? And he replied with a winky face. So there's some rumors going around about the Tesla minivan, or, I Googled Cybervan. There was that. There was this one. So you don't know who designed this. So, there's some rumors about which product lines might be coming out or whatever. My thoughts, and I said this on Discord right when Elon tweeted that, I love the idea, of course, of product expansion, increasing the mix and the utility of products. I just think that should probably be done after Cybertruck. And actually, we have some news on the Cybertruck here that I'll get to in a second. But it probably should happen after the Cybertruck starts selling. And I think that's probably what's going to happen. I wouldn't personally like to see pre-orders start coming in for another Tesla product before Cybertruck. I think Cybertruck needs to. I think it needs to start delivering before pre-orders start coming in for other products. And that's not to say that there are pre-orders happening for anything, or that's what Elon's even saying. But I just think let's get Cybertruck done. And then from there on out, I think using the exoskeleton, if it's a hit, I think there's a million ways that you can kind of pivot from there. On the Cybertruck, though, we did have some news here from Sawyer again. According to a report from the German publication Tesla Mag, Tesla's started ordering machines to produce drive units for the Cybertruck from German manufacturers. Of note, these manufacturers also supply equipment for Giga Berlin and Giga Shanghai. These parts are reportedly being built and are on schedule to be produced, or on schedule to produce the first parts at Giga Texas in July 2023. If running at full capacity, these new machines can reportedly deliver around 750 drive units per year. So I'm not sure if you do the math on like tri-motor or dual motor or whatever mix Tesla will have on how many exactly that is, but essentially that's pretty good news. Summer of next year. Originally, you guys know what last year I was like, okay, by middle to fall of this year, 2022, I want to start seeing Cybertrucks being delivered. Of course, doesn't seem like it's the case. So it's next summer is kind of what the tea leaves are saying right now about the Cybertruck. I mean, I don't love the fact that it's next summer, but also I can get with the idea that, look, right now Tesla is chip constrained this year. Next year is really the first floodgate year. I mean, Elon's even said even if Tesla wanted to produce, a million more cars this year, just with chip constraints, they can't. But next year they will be able to. The limiting factor next year will actually be batteries again. So there's that. What are you guys saying here in the chat? Lynn says, do you envision Tesla hitting highs? I think you mean all-time highs by end of year. I think that'd be tough. As much as I'd love to see that happen. Let's just do some quick trend line math to see what percentage that would have to be for Tesla to hit $1,300. And I think all-time highs is what, 1243. So let's do 1250. For Tesla to hit 1250, we need about a 63% rally from here to year end. So in 6 months, a 63% rally. I mean, crazier things have happened. I think we all know that. But it's all about probabilities. Is the probability or are the odds in our favor? I mean, if you do a beta of 2, the Nasdaq would have to rally 30%, which I guess with the drawdowns that we've seen is not like. I mean, we've seen massive Nasdaq drawdowns and then rebounding like after COVID. It's not unheard of, but it's a severe rally that we'd need, and a consistent one at that. So, where was I? Hold on. You guys are asking for options. I'll pull up the options here. So I've got it here. The options order flow is not too hot on the daily, or I should say intraday. If I pull up the last 5 days, I'll give it a second here to load. This is TradeAtix, by the way. Link in the description if you want to check them out. Actually, while I wait for that to load, I'll come to the bottom and I'll look at what are the hottest options for Tesla being traded. And so you'll see for today's expiration, there's about 174 orders of 750 strike, which is about to expire. It's about $11 million worth of call premium there. On the put side, we don't have really anything massive. Some 40 orders, some 54, but size on this is pretty small. And then the strikes are also not concerning. I mean, the 740 order might be. That's for next week's options expiration, but it's about $3 million worth. On the contrary, we see the exact same kind of spread on next week's call side too, the 750s. These are 27 orders for 8.3 million for 750s. The furthest out we kind of see in strike price, by the way, is probably, and short expiration is probably the 800 strike. I mean, it's decent. We have someone betting about $4.5 million for about 53 orders worth of 800 strike for next week. So I guess we'll see how we close. You guys know last week, for example, I mean, you guys tell me in the chat. I think our looking at options order flow in the last 15 minutes of trading on the Friday has been pretty accurate to give us a signal as to where the odds might be for Monday's opening. It's been pretty consistent. I mean, there's a couple weeks I've been off, but for the most part, I'm trying to remember. It's been pretty spot on, even with gap ups and gaps, kind of gap downs. But right now is a little bit too early. Almost, it's 12:04. It's 12:20. We have 40 minutes left. Let's check back on this with like 5 or 10 minutes left and kind of see where it's going. Exploration says yes. To is Bill Gates still short? Yes. Is Bill Gates still short? Probably. I think Elon says that he keeps doubling down as well. So there's that. Let's watch a couple of YouTube videos about. There we go. Okay, let's watch a couple of YouTube videos on Tesla Analyst coming up in the last couple of days, talking about deliveries for quarter two and how that might affect earnings. Hopefully this audio works. Let me know.
Garrett, the numbers?
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's mainly expectations for lower valuation multiples across the auto manufacturer industry in this environment in which we're seeing increased odds of a recession. So it's just a lower target multiple. Our estimates for next year in 2024 actually didn't change at all.
So it wasn't about the quarterly delivery figures.
It wasn't. And if you look at, Tesla shipped about 255,000 vehicles. That was up 27% year over year. If you look at the rest of the industry, on average, automakers' sales declined by about 20% in the second quarter. So, Tesla continues to outperform. And we think with the company in the process of ramping up their new factories in Austin and Berlin, the second half of the year is going to be a lot stronger in terms of their production and sales.
So by the way, this is Garrett Nelson of CFRA. And what I find interesting is like, okay, you can see this was recorded the other day, but Tesla was sitting at 690 back then. And it seems like whenever we see, and there's another video that I'll pull up right after this, it seems like it's almost kind of predictable when we know Tesla's going to rise as fast as it has this week. As soon as we start seeing analysts come out the wazoo and start coming on mainstream media, it seems like there's a pretty good correlation there with seeing Tesla continue to rally. I remember when Tesla was at $800 or $900 before it ever passed $1,000 last year, and we started to see analysts come out the wazoo on CNBC. And by the way, you guys can confirm this hopefully, and starting to say like Tesla is a 4-digit stock. I see Tesla as a 4, and Tesla had never passed $1,000 at that point. And Tesla was like $900, $800 back then. So it wasn't the hottest take in the world, especially in a bull market. But we just started to see everyone start to say Tesla's over $1,000 of stocks. Tesla's a 4-digit stock. And so lo and behold, within about a week or two, we got that monster rally in October. It just seems like it's kind of like, you don't really have to read too much into this to kind of see where big money is flowing after that.
So we remain very positive on the stock.
Sure, although maybe there's a difference between sort of positive for the long run and generational buying opportunity, and maybe there's not. I mean, could you make a case that Tesla has now priced in much of the success it's going to have in the years to come already?
Yeah, we put this report out and we looked at the long-term earnings potential of the company. So Tesla earned a little less than $7 a share last year. They did $54 billion in revenue. We think by the end of this decade, their earnings could be north of $30 a share.
Okay, $30 a share is about, give or take, 2.5, maybe 3 million cars, if my math serves me right. So $30 a share, like I'm thinking Tesla does $30 EPS in 2020, but I think by 2025 at the latest, really. $30 EPS. Again, like that's conservative numbers. So again, margin could take a big hit, but with 4680s coming out with giga castings, I only see really margin going up. Yes, in the short term, we might see a margin hit, but $30 EPS is what he's projecting for the end of the decade. So 2030. So, that's quite the discrepancy between the street and, I guess if you want to say, staunch Tesla bulls.
In revenue north of $300 billion. And so, we view this 35% drop in the stock price as really a generational type opportunity, similar to an Apple or an Amazon, say a decade ago.
You just said this opportunity he sees in Tesla as a generational opportunity similar to Apple and Amazon 10 years ago. Wow.
In terms of,
I mean, of course, like it's one thing if retail investors think that, but coming out from Wall Street on CNBC saying that, other than Ron Barron, you really don't hear generational buying opportunity out.
A company that's really disrupting their industry and is going to take a huge amount of market share over the next decade. And so, we view this as a really good entry point for the long term in the stock.
Garrett, it's Dom. It's trading at 55, 56 times next year's anticipated earnings. Even with the pullback, some would say that's still too much. How would you counter that argument?
Yeah, so we would say look at the where it's traded over the last 5 or 10 years on a forward PE basis, and the multiples are well north of 100 times, and so it's actually trading at the lowest multiple that it.
I mean, multiples are funny, right? The multiple is it's essentially a proxy for how many years worth of earnings you kind of want to give and price for a company that you want to buy today. But a couple of things that affect multiple. One, if there's no real competition because Tesla has such a huge moat already into electric vehicles and the margins that they have and the consumer brand that they've built up, you definitely get an increased multiple there. But also, if you look at just the PEG ratio, right? Tesla wants to grow revenue on a long-term basis, deliveries at a long-term basis by 50%, long-term CAGR. Then really, PEG ratio, if you want to put PEG as 1, you want to pay about a 50 PE for that stock. So
it's been trading at in a long time right here.
But it's still, what did we say, 55 times forward earnings or what have you. How are you valuing Tesla, Garrett, and what does
the PEG is what you have to look at
next couple of years to justify the current price?
So, yeah, let's see what he says.
Yeah, we think they just need to continue to execute. They have an impressive pipeline of future products with the Cybertruck and the Semi coming next year.
Check out that graph, by the way. I know this is a little bit old, 690 when Tesla was at this point. Pandemic, March 11th, pretty much the bottom of the market, March 11th. The shares have yielded 432%.
We know their long-term goal is to grow their annual volumes from 500,000 vehicles sold in 2020 to more than 20 million vehicles in the year 2030. And so that's the long-term growth opportunity. And while the stock is down 35% year to date, it's been the best performing auto manufacturer equity by a wide margin so far this year. And so we just think they need to continue to execute and innovate, and the share price will grow along with their earnings over the long term.
Garrett Nelson. Garrett Nelson
prompted the trip.
Is certified. I think he understands what he. Well, I mean, a couple of things. I mean, his EPS estimate I think is too low for 2030. But he seems like he gets Tesla. So there you go. I actually don't recall reading too many of his analyst notes. Maybe I have, and just not clicking in my head. Hadouken, appreciate that. Thank you. How many likes are we at for this stream? I ask selfishly. 113 likes, 500 people watching. Let's try to get to 500 likes. I'd appreciate the support. Of course, hit subscribe if you haven't already. Oh, there we go. The like number's going up. 131. Appreciate you guys. Okay. The question here about, where did I see it? Danny says, what do you think about the split? Or how do you think about the split? I'm not super excited about the split right now. I think as we approach August and the shareholder meeting, and we'll get more of an idea if when exactly Tesla wants to set the split date. I think the market probably gets excited about 2 or 3 weeks prior to that. So I'm not super excited or thinking it affects anything at the moment. If Amazon's split was any indication, we probably will see an effect about a week prior to the split, after it gets approved. And I saw another comment here, I forget where it is now, about vote as a Tesla share. If you're a Tesla shareholder, go vote for the annual general meeting. I have to actually still do that. So I'll do that probably. I was supposed to do it yesterday, but I got busy. So what's the deadline on that? Probably August 4th. So go vote for that. Yes or no, whatever you want. You can vote on the split if Tesla should be able to. I think, and let me know in the chat, are you guys going to vote yes or no for the split? I'm going to vote yes if it wasn't clear already. But you have that freedom. Angus says how? Well, you can, I got it in the mail. It's like a letter. I don't know where it is. Somewhere over there. But basically you get like this authorization code. You can scan it. You can type it in. And then basically from there, you have to, it's like a third party site and then you vote on there. You guys are vote yes. John says yes. Boyle says yes. Michael says check open options for the week. Thank you, Michael. Appreciate that. Since I'm on vacation, I haven't been doing anything. But I will check. You guys know I'm kind of paranoid like that. Actually forgot that I had a complete YOLO on for January 2023, a 2300 strike that I still have. Totally forgot about that. Okay, but I'm up. Ye says I didn't get any letter. Go call your brokerage house on that and see what they say. Jeff says I voted yes. Voted last night, says RRS. Yeah, check. Lynn says check your email from your brokerage. That too, in my experience, I haven't ever gotten an email about it, but I've only gotten like fiscal letters in the mail. I don't know why. Francesco says, Yash, how do you have internet right now? If you guys don't know, in Canada, there's a nationwide Rogers, which is our it's like AT&T actually. I think is like the brother band down south, and it's down completely. Like I can't call Abby. Her mom is with Rogers. Like you can't text, you can't call. There's no data across the whole country. How? I don't know, but it happens every time with Rogers. I just don't know. But I'm with TELUS, so you can call me a genius for being with TELUS. Yeah, feel free to call me a genius for being with TELUS. But that's how I have internet. Not Starlink. That's not what's happening. Tanya says deadline August 3rd. Okay, thank you, Tanya. Proxy vote is my voting service. There we go. That sounds familiar. That's what I put in. Hold on. Jan says my Danish brokerage wanted me to pay like $100 to get the paperwork. Yeah, you know what? I was Martin, head of Tesla investor relations, actually replied to someone saying in Europe it really depends on your brokerage by brokerage basis how hard they want to make it, or if they can't even let you vote. Like Wolfgang, he's saying that as well. Like, yeah, so it sucks. Sometimes you won't be able to. I'm guessing I'm speaking as a Canadian mostly, but I've heard in the US it's way easier. Like you guys are just getting emails and clicking a couple things and it's done. Here, at least with me, maybe that's the way I have my communication set up. I got a actual snail mail letter. Okay, let's talk about. Nick brings up a good point. Nick says price increases and priority delivery of FSD should bolster margins for the quarter. Well, I think the price increases, yes. I'm not sure. Do we know for a fact that Tesla was prioritizing FSD deliveries? I know that if you go on the website and you click FSD, it's a couple months earlier. But I don't know if we know if that's a hard and fast rule. The issue there is, not issue, but the other thing to add on to that is enhanced autopilot. If people bought that, by the way, 751 sitting on Tesla for my audio friends. If you bought enhanced autopilot, yes, you could see some sort of a margin boosting with Tesla there. But I'm seeing some crazy numbers, guys. Like on Twitter, I'm seeing some people that are expecting like 60,000 people to buy enhanced autopilot. It's not going to happen. Like my guess is, just throw out a random guess, I don't know, like 5,000 people. Like I don't know if it's as hot of a commodity as we think it was. So yes, it might help a little bit, but I don't think it's I don't think it's fundamentally changing anything for the quarter is my guess. I think the biggest aspect to help with margins this quarter that we're not talking about right now is the performance models out of Fremont. The SNX performance, that's going to increase ASP quite a bit. And if they like pretty much prioritized only those for deliveries, we could probably see some padding of margin there. But again, it's just a wild card. And to be honest, as a longer term investor, it doesn't really matter to me too much about what happens in quarter two. Again, if you're trading, different story right now. But even if you're trading, like just almost right off quarter two, I know some people that are actually hoping that quarter two earnings is terrible. Just puke everything out. Go on the earnings call, talk about how crap everything has been. Don't hype up anything. And this is what Wall Street really wants, is to kind of set expectations really low, get it all out right now, and then have a killer end of the year, quarter three and quarter four, and upside surprise people. I think that's kind of where I'm at for the most part. And again, if you're trading, then you obviously are betting one way or another massively for, let's say, an earnings move. I also don't see a lot of earnings premium being baked in, or at least I did a couple days ago. Let me see if that's changed. The closest earnings chain we have is July 22nd. And an at-the-money call is about $45, and at-the-money put is about $40. So adding those, actually, hold on, $7.50 is actually the exact one. So 40 and 40. So about $80 worth of a move being priced in for earnings. Just pull up my calculator. So a little bit less than 10%. Okay, let's not bother with exact math. A little bit less than 10% for about 14 days away. If you look at the strike right before that, so the 15th of July, and we come to the 750 strikes, those are $25 and $20, what, $45. Actually, it's pretty decent, actually, kind of the juice that you're getting in that strike. You're getting about 5% move priced into next week's calls versus, 10%. Actually, that's pretty juicy. If you come into July 29th and you come to the 750s, it's about $100 being priced in. So about a delta of about $20 more per every week you add on. Actually, that's not bad. If you talk about juice being priced into earnings, that's actually a lot more than I last time I counted. Danny says, any EPS guess for quarter two? It's gonna be ugly. I have no idea. Couple bucks, so it's just hard. Like, I'd have to go through the math. I'm just gonna wait and analyze everything, and just kind of look at what people smarter than me are saying. But I think it's maybe like $2 or something like that. Carson says, I think Sandy Monroe's Texas Model Y videos will help the stock price more than people realize. I don't think so. I think what Sandy does is awesome. He shares the tech from a perspective that we probably as retail investors would not be able to get otherwise. And to be fair, a lot of institutions, he's even said it, get data from him, ask him for consultations, advice, blah, blah, blah. I don't know about how much that's affecting the stock price today, or in general, I should say, and maybe a little bit. But I mean, here's the thing with Wall Street: unless it hits the margins or the bottom line or the income statement or the balance sheet, like, I don't think they care too much yet. Like, I don't think they're in the business of like trying to find every detail of what's happening at the moment when kind of the whole stock market is reset to where it's at. I think we're kind of in a wait and see mode. Now, of course, if quarter three or quarter four this year, Tesla's like, look, because of the 4680s, margins are not 30% anymore. Margins are 35%. Okay, now we're talking about a material change, right? So, Boyle says, I have 750 calls expiring in 22 minutes. This is pretty dramatic. I'm not going to buy it back either way. Oh, 750 calls. Hey, so we'll play our Tesla closing price guessing game in 5 minutes here, but yeah, that's tight. If I were to guess, well, actually, I am going to guess in 5 minutes. So I think we all are. So I'll save that here. By the way, volume weighted average price for the day is 750, 749.71. So yeah. GS says, I canceled my Model 3 order after I got insurance quotes. Really? That sucks. What state are you in? Well, if you obviously haven't checked already, go check Tesla Insurance. I pay about the same if not a little bit less than I did when I had my 2001 Toyota Corolla. Believe it or not. And I wish I had, I wish Canadians had Tesla insurance, but I realize that's probably asking a little bit too much. As Canadians, it's hard enough to get trade-in estimates on Tesla's website. Let's see here. See. Thank you, Manuel. Appreciate that. Yes, hit the like if you are new here. Hit subscribe as well. We're at 205 likes actually somehow. Somehow 531 people watching. I appreciate you guys hitting like. I got the live counter for likes here. It's not on screen, but I can see exactly how many people have liked it. So shout out to you if you are. Dan says the Jujus aren't going to eat themselves. Dan, you were right, my friend. What am I doing? Okay. Juju's being open. Let me know what you guys are eating, where you guys are. Are you guys at the gym? I get some messages sometimes on Twitter. Yo, I love watching your streams. I'm at the gym or I'm walking. I think that's really cool. And that's why I like to keep it audio friendly as well. I know like 751 sitting on Tesla at the moment. Because I know not everyone is going to be staring at their screen the whole time. Okay. Oh. Just squirted some juju on the mic. Don't go there. Okay. There we go. All right. Tesla rallying on the juju consumption. 751 sitting on Tesla. Got another video here of Deutsche Bank's Emmanuel Rosner talking about Tesla's second half of the quarter. So we'll go into that now. Pull that up.
I think a lot of the concern around Tesla have been around the ability to produce, so essentially the supply side. Some of the weakness we've seen in the second quarter was highly predictable. It was basically the result of COVID shutdowns in Shanghai. And so the numbers that the Tesla delivered in the quarter were actually better than we had expected and bang in line with what the street was essentially looking for. So pretty robust execution despite those challenges. The reason we remain bullish, and actually we feel it's a good opportunity now, is really looking forward. As part of its press release, Tesla...
So Deutsche Bank has, and this is Emmanuel Rosner, has a $1,125 price target for Tesla at the moment. And he's talking about the second half of the year.
Essentially said June was the best quarter, the best months in history from a production point of view. That means that it's really lapping some of these production issues. China is back on track. The other factories are on track. And therefore, I think the second half we actually looked particularly strong. The company is on right now retooling Shanghai to even boost capacity by another 300,000 units. It's also boosting the number of shifts in Berlin. We believe the second half could actually be quite strong, and then some more in 2023.
Big picture, I assume based on what you said, is that you still believe that fundamentally Tesla is mostly constrained by supply. In other words, we don't have to be concerned about the pace of demand, even if we're all looking for a potential recession in parts of the world coming up?
Obviously, it's a very important question. So based on existing data, we could track essentially the wait times, to get your car. If you place a reservation, when would you get your Tesla? There has not been any compression in wait times. In most cases, whatever the model is, whatever the geography, you would have to wait several months, often into 2023, in order to get your Tesla. So there's no...
By the way, that's actually a big problem. He talks about Tesla, people ordering cars and like having to wait 8 months or 10 months or whatever. That's a big problem. I read an article that there's this guy in, I forget what state, he's buying Teslas and then immediately flipping them on the free market for a premium. It's like house flipping. At a certain point, I'm not sure how much of this we really want in the market. Yeah, of course, like it's great to see so much demand for Teslas. I do question how much of this is inflated by flippers coming in. I'm seeing it here locally as well. Like people, a lot of them right after delivery listing their car for sale and knowing that they can get. So it's kind of like waiting. It's kind of like you're buying, closing on a property to flip it because the housing market is just nuts right now. So I think we have to keep that in mind. And I think that's why Tesla continues to raise prices. Well, I think that's why they continue to raise prices. But ironically, that is the problem, right? Because if Tesla continues to do that and still honors people that have been locked in, all you're doing is creating this like virtuous cycle of more people locking in the price just for the sake of locking in a price to then close on the Tesla to then sell it in the open market. So it's kind of like, I'm not going to say it's a never ending cycle. but it's kind of troubling, um, to say the least. Mimi says, I'm drinking red wine, lemon soda, liquid juju. There you go. Boyle says, Old Wisconsin pepperoni, snack sticks, and Goose Island Imperial IPA. Sounds good. All right, let's get back to the video.
No signs so far of any sort of like compression in demand, despite Tesla increasing prices by 10 times in 2021 and multiple times again in 2022 and keeping up with inflation. So far not. I think on a go-forward basis, it's still a very valid question. If we go into a recession, my point would be, look, we're essentially looking now at backlogs that stretch, year long or more in terms of ability, to supply. So even if demand took some sort of hit, we'd still be looking at some pretty solid volume trajectory. Let's not also forget a big piece of the Tesla story is about their own supply, but also about new models. Next year in 2023, we should get the Cybertruck. This is an all new segment, an all new model. We don't have a fresh mark to market of how many reservations there are, but there's certainly some noise out that it could be 1 million units or more. This
More
is
than
all
a million,
new.
yeah.
This is all new customers, and I would think a decent portion of the reservation holders would actually come through.
All right. Well, we do have to watch that demand pipeline. So
He's got this slight smirk on his face. I'm not sure what he's smiling about.
far, it has not really buckled. Emmanuel, thank you very much.
Okay, what's interesting as well, and I see some comments coming in. 753 sitting on Tesla, by the way, rallying on that juju consumption by you guys. But let me turn that off. What? And by the way, I said virtuous cycle. I guess self-fulfilling prophecy, maybe. I guess vicious cycle works too. But it's and Mimi says you can restrict resales. I don't know if that's possible. Like, it's a car. I'm just not sure. Oh, Tesla closing price guess. Thank you, Angus. Okay. It's that time of week. Friday, 12:48. Tesla closing price guessing game. Throw your guess in the chat as to what Tesla stock closes at for the day. Remember, Price is Right rules. One guess per person. Price is Right rules. If you don't know, you have to guess at or under the stock price to win. If you're over by even a penny, you can't. And I'll throw out my guess too a little bit early. I'm going to say 751 today. I'm going to throw it in the chat too because I'm terrible memory. I'm going to type it in right now. 751. Actually, I'm going to guess on the penny today. I'm going to guess 751.40. There we go. And again, prize is virtual juju, which I will throw at you through the camera lens here. Okay. By the way, hit subscribe while you're throwing in your comment if you haven't already. The subscriptions should pop up in here. So, just as I said that. Thank you, Jarek. Okay, so let's talk about opening up Supercharger Network. If you haven't read, there's been some news with the White House press coming out with some leaks, some other news. I'm not sure if Tesla's confirmed or denied this. But the White House announces Tesla will open up its supercharging network to all EVs. They've already been doing this in Europe, so all my European friends, let me know what you guys think about this. Thanks for subscribing, folks. Let me know what you guys think about this. Now, first things first. Of course, from a financial perspective, great. This opens up the supercharging network. Tesla makes money from their competitive advantage with these networks. And yeah, I mean, like in 10 years' time, when there's 1 million of these around, I think it's great. Now, speaking selfishly, because that's what I'm going to do here, I know from experience for long weekends, for example, in the summer, for road trips, it can get busy at these supercharging networks. Now, mind you, Tesla has increased capacity dramatically in the last couple of years. They've opened one up here in Burnaby. They've opened another one up in, another one up in Richmond, North Vancouver. So there's a lot here. Of course, more and more are coming. More capacity for they have. I think they had one in Hope, for example, which is kind of like the main artery for road trips, and then they added another one not too far away. So there's that. So great. But selfishly speaking, I don't love the idea of opening it up to everyone until I'm comfortable with knowing that I'm not going to be waiting around because there's like a lineup of Chevy Bolts waiting to be charged. So I think the way to combat this potentially is to just set a price that clears the market at efficient levels. I think of like having like a gas price. Instead of having like a gas price, Tesla could have like an ongoing EV price for legacy auto, for legacy auto EVs that can charge. And again, I get it for the mission. It's awesome. Maybe said I think it's great. They're restricting none Teslas if it's crowded. Yeah, there's going to have to wait. There's going to have to be a way for that to happen. So I guess we'll see. But talk about profit. I mean, this is kind of Tesla. Digital says Tesla can restrict non-EVs if it's too busy. Will make people considering to Teslas. Yeah, for sure. Or Brian says they can just raise the price. Yeah, exactly. You guys are saying, where is the Tesla closing price? Or where's the Tesla ticker price? Hold on. Let me just actually bring it up here. Thank you for reminding me. There we go. Okay. Jeffrey, how's it going? Okay, so throw in your guesses if you haven't already for a Tesla closing price guessing game. We'll close submissions in a couple minutes here. So we'll see it. Oh, they're doing it now. You can see it in your app. Really? Hold on. Man, I go away for 1 week mentally. I'm like, I'm not reading any news this week. And then boom. So, okay, actually, let me read the article here. 752 sitting on Tesla, by the way. Last week, the White House announced a slate of private sector investments to expand electric vehicle charging across the U.S. Oh, this is the U.S. Where would I find it? Probably in location. White House says later this year, Tesla will begin production of its new supercharging equipment that will enable non-Tesla EVs. So is this going to be the, hold on, where is it going to be here? What adapter is everyone going to use? Are you going to have, oh man, all these ads out of my face. Are people going to have those adapters that are only, what are those adapters that people are not the DC fast chargers or the Chatamo ones, but the, let me see here. No, not the J1772. It's just I'm losing it this week. Which one is it? The CCS charger, or yes, CCS. Thank you. So are those available in North America yet? I don't think they were yet. The dongles, yes. Yeah, more dongles in my life. Oh, in the Netherlands. Okay, thank you, Amy. Yeah, so are those dongles available yet? I know they... Actually, let me pull it up here. Actually, I think I got it. There we go. Electric reports on May 2nd. Tesla CCS adapters spotted charging at over 200 kilowatts. Is it finally going to be available? I know in Asia it already is. Some people ship it over. In Korea, okay, gotcha. Yeah, I mean, look, I'm all for generally exposing people to the Tesla network. It's kind of like Apple in the sense. Some people are arguing like, okay, it's like Apple giving people an app for iMessage. And let me know in the chat if you guys have iPhones. Would you not say iMessage is one? It sounds stupid, but iMessage is one of the big reasons why a lot of people switch to iPhones that haven't for so many years. At least anecdotally. So it's kind of like giving people the iMessage app on an Android. It's like, okay, I mean, wouldn't you just want them to switch? So I don't know. Yeah, the site wasn't great. Not the green messages. Yeah, exactly. Okay, let's actually look at options order flow as well. I'm sweating. Got 5 minutes left here to close. I'm sweating a brick. But let's look at options order flow. I'm going to eat more juju to cool down. Okay, let's check out the options order flow. Rod Feather says Signal is why I want to switch. Is Signal not available on Android? Michael says, what makes iMessage special? I mean, that's kind of the thing. It nothing really, right? At the end of the day, it's like any other app, WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger. But I'm telling you, there's a lot of people, anecdotally speaking, that quite literally switch because of iMessage. Or maybe a better way to put it is that they don't want to switch back to Android after using iPhones because of iMessage. And trust me, I get it. If you don't have an iPhone, you've never had one, you're like, what's the big deal with iMessage? I get it. Oh, wow, look at this. Folks, look at the put action coming in. for next week. 700 strike, 745. Okay, that's not bad. 695 strike being swept. 291,000, 150,000. Some pretty decent put action here for next week coming in at close. Seems like they want to run this back down next week. I guess we'll see. We do have 5 more minutes left. All right. I'm getting so much news on my phone right now. This is crazy. Thank you, Messi. Appreciate that, my friend. Got the NHL draft there. I'm jealous. I see you're a Habs fan with your profile picture. 752 sitting on Tesla. Wow, we're getting a lot of put action. We'll keep an eye on this, but it's not looking hot for Monday morning opening. And again, this could be a head fake in the morning. Who knows? Is it going to say it out loud? Gary says, Yashu, by the way, thank you, Gary, for the super chat. Yashu, please post the voter voice Starlink petition link to the description. That's good. Actually, I retweeted that out. Let me try to find it. Thank you for the super chat, Gary. By the way, I think if you super chat, it should be able to read out. I think I have text to speech on, but I'm not sure why it didn't turn on. But I will. I did retweet that a couple weeks ago. Let me try to find it. Let's see here. Where is it? Yes, I retweeted this one last week. Check it out. Gary wants me to throw it in the link. Actually, just follow me. Follow me on Twitter or go on my Twitter. I'm going to undo the retweet. I'm going to retweet it again. It'll be the top one on my profile now. Okay, awesome. So 751 sitting on Tesla. Some comments in here. Yeah, so bottom line with the Supercharger Network, I don't love the idea as someone that already sometimes has, like, to be fair, I haven't had to wait very long for Tesla Superchargers because I've planned I've planned all my trips pretty well that way. But I know of, like, for example, August long weekend is coming up in Canada soon enough, in about a month's time. Guaranteed there's going to be backups. Now, of course, there's a lot more expansion of Supercharger networks, but okay, if this year August long weekend goes by and I don't hear about backups at the Tesla Supercharging network, then I'm all for this. Then I'll switch my mind. But my guess is I probably will. And to be fair, I don't care if I have to wait 10 or 15 minutes. I'm talking about sometimes I saw those news stories of people having to wait an hour on Tesla Facebook group here locally, Tesla Vancouver Facebook group, people saying they had to wait for an hour and a half, whatever. So just want to avoid that. Thank you, Charlotte. Appreciate that. Thank you. Just hit the like. How many subscriptions are we at? By the way, folks, I'm trying to hit 20,000 subscribers. Will we ever do it? I hope we will. But you know what? I was talking to Abby about this. I was like, it's not about the number of subscribers. It's about how awesome everyone is in the family, in the Juju gang. I'm super grateful. And again, sounds like something a loser would say, right? And it probably is. But I'm honestly very grateful for you guys. I see some people throwing in some extra. Maybe they're just behind on the stream. Brian says I can only unsubscribe and resubscribe. It's all good, Brian. Appreciate it. Okay, so let's talk. I had something else pulled up here. Oh, I never read what Gary said. Gary says opening up the Supercharging network to all EVs is a no-brainer. Goldman Sachs estimates it could add about $75 a share to EPS. I think he means annually. More importantly, more charging stations will convince Americans to buy their first EV. And right now, the US EV share, or the Tesla EV share, is about 70%. Finally, the move will bring goodwill with Biden. I don't really care about goodwill with the administration too much, because we all know presidents change. I don't necessarily care about that. But I mean, that's a pretty good point. I mean, having more goodwill with consumers to switch to EVs, yeah. But I mean, here's one thing that everyone that hates on EVs always likes to say. Thank you, Larry, for the super chat. Appreciate that. Larry Apple. With actually, it kind of looks like a Juju, that emoji that you pulled up. Thank you. But that's a great point. I mean, one of the biggest arguments that anti-EV people will say is, oh, don't you like waiting in line for your EV charger or paying for charging. I mean, what, like a VAT, like 70 something percent of EV owners all charge consistently only at home overnight while they sleep. So it doesn't really make too much sense. The closing bell. Oh, I forgot. Closing bell happened. Okay, there we go. Didn't even realize. I didn't have my Thinkorswim pulled up today. All right, 752.29 was the close on Tesla. Let me pull up who won here for the contest. Stay tuned. 752. I think I lost. All right, 14 people guessed 752. So I'll go through them now. John guessed 752.70. Matthew guessed 752.52. You guys are over here. Ken guessed 752.13. So Ken's the current leader. 752.13. Samir's guessed 752.69. Nice. Jan guessed 752.03. Oh, Namahe guessed 752.21. 8 cents off. I think that might be the winner for the day. Christina guessed 752.93. Leo guessed 752.70. Oh man, this is tight today. Vaughn guessed 752.12. Gary 752.40. Philip with 69. Nice. And 01. And even Agam guessed 752.11. So I guess our winner is Namahe, who guessed 752.21. Shout out to you. Congrats for winning the Juju Prize, virtual Juju Prize for the week. Awesome. Blake says, is Rogers affecting you on West as well? It is, but luckily I'm with TELUS. So I'm not saying go with TELUS, but yeah. Boyle says, rest in peace, one contract. Yes. Hey, but Boyle, be careful. After hours, what happens is actually what matters. So it can settle. If it settles even a cent under in the next couple of hours, you're not going to get those shares called away. But congrats, Namahe. Matt says, hey, last time I watched the live stream, I was in Sweden going to high school. Now I'm in the US and just got a job to pay for more Tesla shares to see live streams are going. Good to see live streams are going well. Love it. Hey, that's awesome. Congrats to you, Matt, for the new life switch up. That's awesome. Frank says, simple fix for opening up the superchargers. Open up one charger per station with one adapter, or maybe install a new one that has extra capacity, 2 cords. That's not a bad idea, Frank, actually. So prioritize to kind of Teslas and then have an extra one. That's awesome. Well, awesome. It's 1:04 p.m. Awesome stream, everyone. Thank you for joining me this week. I want to say super grateful for everyone tuning in as usual. Like I say every Friday, put away your technology, your phones, your portfolios. Nothing's going to change over the weekend. And remember, be well, spend some time with family, go for a nature walk or do whatever you want. Like me, try to sit in the sun a little bit too much and get shades of red on your face. But actually, it's funny. You can go back to my YouTube video history, go to my last year summer videos, look at my tan, and then go to like March or like February. You'll see how pale I am. Every year I go through this. But I'm looking forward to catch more sun this weekend. Much love, everyone. Take care. And follow me on Twitter if you haven't already. And shout out to all Patreon members, channel members, a couple hundred of you awesome people that support the channel. I'll catch you guys on Discord like we do every weekend. And I'll be back on my regular video schedule coming up following this weekend. So much love. Take care. I hope you guys enjoyed Power Hour stream today. And I'm going to go back on vacation. Take care. Peace.